Hey everybody! Hey everybody, and welcome to the Talkies. Yes, indeed, three filmmakers talking about movies. I'm Kenny.
I'm D.
I'm Taylor.
And we've made it to the end of a journey.
Ooh.
Oh, we're at the end.
Yeah,
we did them all.
The final episode of the Talkies.
This is it.
Just kidding.
This is it.
Canceled.
The end of our quadrilogy. Of covering the Matrix films.
Yeah.
That really rolls off the tongue.
Yeah,
It does.
quadrilogy. Yeah. So after the very enjoyable experience of revisiting
Very enjoyable.
the Matrix sequels,
Yes.
we finally got to Matrix Resurrections.
With an S at the end.
Yeah,
yes.
Resurrections. We all watched it separately.
We did.
We have no clue as to how each of us feel about it.
I purchased tickets for it to the theater.
You went to a theater.
No, I didn't.
Oh.
I got a refund because I was like, oh, it's on HBO.
Oh, so you decided not to even
I
go.
didn't go.
I watched it in this room.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
I watched it at home.
Okay.
All right. Wow.
So it looks like we are proving all of those all the filmmakers
Support theaters.
Yeah, we are spelling the death of cinema here at the Talkies.
I watch movies always. Any way possible.
Any way you can watch a movie, I do it.
Wow.
Yeah. That's how dedicated I am to
Wow.
cinema. I'll watch it on a phone.
Game Boy.
Game Boy
yeah.
Color.
Game Boy Color, yes.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's the best.
So anyways, we don't know anything about we haven't shared our thoughts.
I have a pretty good idea of what you guys thought of the movie.
Wow.
just because
You
you
just
know our
intuited
taste that
it,
well.
huh?
Yeah,
Well.
I'm intuiting. Yeah.
Okay, so let's just jump into hot takes, and then we'll really dive in deep.
I
All
feel
right.
like D should go first.
D's got to go first with the hot takes.
I'm so excited.
Do it, D.
Okay.
Go.
This movie was ass. I hate this movie.
Really?
Yes.
All right. There we go.
I hated this movie so much.
That was a super hot take.
That is pretty hot.
Yeah, that's all
That's
I have
hot.
to say. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
All right, Taylor.
This is kind of funny. It broke my expectations. And
Wow, yours is lower than mine.
yeah, I was expecting this to be the worst Matrix movie.
Yeah.
And I don't think it is. I think the third one is worse. Mm-hmm. And I think I would say this movie's pretty bad and sometimes kind of good in a funny way.
I could see that.
Yeah, I think that's all I can give for now.
I could be there. What'd you say, Kenny?
My hot take would probably be a lukewarm. I kind of liked it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Never thought I'd see the day.
That I'd like a movie you didn't like.
Both of you guys liked the
Crazy.
movie more than I did.
And it's
Yeah.
a Matrix sequel.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I can't say that with huge enthusiasm.
Same.
Like you, my expectations were very low.
Yeah.
I was expecting this to be really, really bad.
Both of you guys, I felt.
And
that
I
from.
think the enjoyment for me largely came out of, they did some things I wasn't expecting
Sure.
with the story and the idea and the concept.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's neat, that's cool, that's kind of clever, that's fun. But it never really cemented into like a great all around movie.
No, no, it didn't.
But let's get into that. Just start us off with all the stuff you hated.
With all the ass.
Yeah, share. Let's analyze the ass.
Let me ask you guys.
Uh-huh.
Start off this with a question. What was this movie about?
Yeah, that's the problem. That is the problem. That my main objection to this film.
Yeah.
Was that it really didn't do anything, right?
It's
It,
just
it
meta.
treaded water. Is
Yeah.
What it did.
Yeah,
I
it
do.
treaded water. Now, I kind of see a thing that they might have been trying to do, but if they wanted to, they could have done it better.
Probably.
And that is this film, although sloppy, did honor both of the sequels, and while disregarding the sequels. It literally kind of brought the Matrix back to exactly where it was at the end of the first film, while still honoring the existence of the other two.
It did.
It almost felt like, hey, let's make a movie for the people that liked the first movie and didn't like the second movie so much.
Yeah, that's probably why I didn't like it so much.
Yeah.
My thought process in the movie was like, in the first act, or maybe just the first half of the first act, I was really on board because I really liked some of the stuff that they were doing. I thought it was really weird how they started exactly like the same exact intro, which was the numbers counting down on the computer and everything, and even cutting in shots of the old movie, which was really strange because I was like, what are they trying to say with it? And then when they brought Neo into they had that whole thing where Trinity wasn't really Trinity, and she's like fighting these agents and they're being watched from holograms and stuff. I was like, okay, what's going on here? And then it brought the camera out basically, through the fourth wall kind of, and went to, the game designer's office, who, was Thomas Anderson, is making The Matrix, the video game. And I was like, oh shit, this is cool. Mm-hmm. So what we saw wasn't real. That's just fucking his game or whatever. But no, that's the movie. that's the movie world. And I was like, oh, it started becoming apparent that they were taking themselves seriously in the first part, and that the rest of it was that way. And I hated that so much because they were simultaneously making fun of the films and rejoicing that they were just having quote fun with this movie, and didn't build lore at the same time, just treaded water. I hated so much of it because I got so bored. I got so bored during the movie.
That was confusing to me. I had to actually rewind that a couple times to follow.
Yeah.
Like that line she gives about the Matrix. She's like, when they're watching Trinity, and she's like, oh, this is kind of like the Matrix. Oh, is the Matrix running a loop? Which Matrix are we in, or something like that?
Right.
And I was like, what is happening?
So she was inside the modal, which is the game.
Which is something that Neo made, that Thomas Anderson made to evolve programs.
Yeah, so what she was watching was his game.
Yeah, okay.
And his code happened to evolve a new Morpheus.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the overarching plot, I'm trying to figure out all the worlds, like the Matrixes.
I think there's just 3.
Video game.
Yeah.
And then there's the Matrix that they put Neo into, where he makes the Matrix video game.
Right. There's the Matrix, the modal, and the real world. The modal is just the Matrix within a Matrix. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That was, for a second, I thought they were actually going to have Keanu Reeves like play himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so too for a second. Yeah. Dude, his acting was terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
what the hell?
How many movies have people said that about?
No, I get it.
Keanu Reeves.
I get it but he was better in the sequels.
I believed it when he was playing a mentally disturbed person, when he was going in and seeing the therapist and stuff. I thought that was a good performance.
But pretty much everything else was asked to me. Like most of his performance felt
when
like
he was interacting with other people.
Yeah.
And when he goes into the real world, especially.
Right. Yeah, it all felt fake. It felt like Lana was like, oh, do your thing.
Yeah. You remember how to do it.
Right.
Yeah. Go for it.
Yeah.
It felt so like low budget.
It did. Holy crap.
Not in a good way.
In a really bad way.
That is a really good description. Yeah.
Yeah.
It felt low budget, definitely.
So I dug the first act quite a lot. Like I was like in 100%.
Yeah, I did.
Because I'm like, okay, we're doing something completely new.
Yeah.
That's what got me excited. I loved that they actually even had props from the movies in his office.
In his office, yeah. That was
cool. The montage where he's working with the corporate people on making Matrix 4, and I'm seeing them give dialogue that I'm certain the Wachowskis had to listen to from people when they were developing the Matrix sequels.
Yeah, that whole sequence I was following.
That was all like autobiographical, I'm sure.
It got, I don't know, it got Jurassic World to me. Like was so self-referential that I'm just like this. It's riding the line between really cringe and this actually might be something interesting that they're doing with it, but it turns out it was just cringe.
Well, and then when he goes to therapy and they're talking about how he tried to commit suicide because he believed that this other reality, was there.
Yeah.
And I thought, how like vintage Wachowski would it be
Yeah.
if that was actually the truth in this movie?
Oh, yeah.
Like we go on a whole nother adventure, and then the movie ends with the Matrix within the Matrix is within a mind.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I would have liked it if they.
Me
did that.
too.
Yeah.
And I thought that's where we were going.
Yeah. And I did too.
And to be honest, where it all ended up,
yeah,
made me like very disturbed about the implications for this movie for anyone who's been through a mental health crisis. Like I kind of, and I say this because I've gone through some issues myself, right? And been through therapy and understand what that relationship is like.
Oh.
And to see a guy super vulnerable going in and having this person tell him, hey, I'm here to ground you to reality. And by the way, they perfectly mirrored what a real therapy session looks like. Sure. You know, like they really did the research. Having him like come into touch with his body and what he's touching and stuff like that and calming him down.
Yeah.
And so this anchor point to reality turns out to be lying to him, which is what the voice in the back of the head would be saying anyway.
Right.
Like, this movie should have a trigger warning for people that are in mental health crisis.
Yeah.
Like, that's like a very dangerous idea.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool to make the analyst like a person who was trying to trick Neo the whole time.
Yeah.
But I never felt like the movie was about that relationship. And that's what was weird about it.
The whole movie was about that Trinity and Neo happened to make a really good battery.
See, okay, that's the thing. So the analyst was supposed to be like the machines themselves. Like he was, I think, supposed to embody, I mean, even though he was the second architect, basically, but I think he was supposed to embody that source face that we saw last time, the baby face that was made of machines.
Sure.
Basically be the voice of that thing. And he talked about how they built Neo and Trinity, and I was like, oh wow, that's interesting. But it would have been cooler to have the whole movie just to be about that relationship, or they'll have the whole thing be about Morpheus' relationship, or about the Trinity relationship, or about anything, just one thing. But they stuffed all this shit into like one it
was like one big sizzle reel.
It was weird, yeah.
Rather than like a story,
right?
Specific story. It was like, I saw a Reddit comment that put it as like, this felt like almost like a YouTube quality, YouTube tier sort of like story.
It's like the YouTube originals.
Yeah, like a YouTube original type. I know people like that Karate Kid show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but like something of that kind of caliber, maybe. Yeah. I mean, this movie's probably worse than that show.
Like low tier Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. I wasn't that into it. I thought the movie was kind of ugly.
It was.
Like aesthetically.
And I can tell you the reason why.
Different DP, right?
The DP was the same guy who shot Sense8.
Oh, yeah.
And it was written by also Lana, but also the same people who worked on Sense8. Yeah, I felt that production like crazy. Every shot was so generic.
Super generic.
The only interesting ones were the ones that mirrored shots from the first movie.
Yeah. Exactly. And then like every time they do cut to the first movie, it's like,
you're like, ooh.
It's really bad because like it looks so much better. It looks so much better. Yeah. Like it looks like a real movie.
Dude, I cringed hard at the what do you call it? The scene where they had the Merovingian and the
exiles.
Yeah, and freaking Agent Smith comes in, and it's like all these crazy high tier level enemies that are all in one place, and they're about to have the showdown again. And I'm like, where even are you guys? It's like this warehouse that. Why are you there?
Smith made 0 sense.
Absolutely 0 sense.
I still don't understand who he was, why he was there, what his end game was.
I just kind of checked out anytime he was on screen.
I was just like, oh, okay,
all right, whatever.
Dude,
get the fuck out.
I found myself not even like paying attention to the movie anymore when they were. Jeez, I forgot Sati was in this movie. The little girl.
Yeah, that's right.
So when they were carrying
they revisited our favorite storyline from the sequels.
That's another storyline. So Sati's plan to get Trinity out of the thing in the fields. When they were there and they were like doing their, I don't even remember what they were doing, but I just remember that I just completely checked out at that point, and I was just like, oh no, the movie's lost me like completely. Like this is exactly what happened to Sense8 on like episode 4. I'm just like, okay, just come on, just end already.
I wish that, because I was really enjoying Neo just being completely unsure of what's real and what's not, and
that was
being
a fun
confused and lost,
Yeah.
and existing in this same space where Trinity has no memory at all whatsoever and is completely tied to her Matrix life.
Yeah.
Like, if the movie culminated with the two of them figuring out like deciding, okay, the Matrix real, and they jump off a building together and the movie ends. That would have been cool.
That's what I thought.
And it could have been it could have been a smaller budget movie and been better.
This would have been better if it was a smaller budget movie.
But
they did way too much.
Yeah, as soon as it got into the real world, and they start hatching this scheme to save Trinity for like really hard to understand motivations.
Well, what was? Oh man! So when they got to the real world and they got to IO, the new city,
I liked IO.
That I did like the place, but with Niobe there and having like this this thing where Niobe Niobe disapproves of Neo or his actions, and basically takes on the role of the other general guy.
Yep.
Which was cool. I like to see her in that anti role, but then it absolutely led nowhere. He leaves and the storyline ends. And Niobe is not back in the movie again.
Yeah, that's right.
I was like, what the hell? Like, what was that even about then?
Yeah, it's like they completely disregarded the problem with the sequels where no one cared about Zion.
Yeah,
they like made that twice as bad.
Well, I mean, like, why even visit? Why even go there? What's the point?
There was no point.
There was no point.
Yeah, they went there and then left and then came back and left again. Yeah, and it's like
cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Niobe's back. Oh cool.
I liked that.
Fan service done wrong.
That they had made friends with robots. That there were machines and people working together.
That was neat.
Thought that was
and that
cool.
there were factions of machines that are fighting against machines.
Yeah, that was also neat.
That's the kind of thing I would hope to see in the future of the Matrix world.
Yeah, that
sounds
made a
like
lot
a
of
cool
sense
movie
to me. Yeah.
And having this interface where programs could actually exist in the real world.
Yeah.
Right? They're those like magnetic marbles.
That was neat, yeah.
Remember Morpheus was able to materialize in the real world?
Yeah.
I thought that was a really cool idea.
I'm very confused about Morpheus.
Cool. Well, yeah.
He's not in this movie.
So what?
Calling him Morpheus is very weird.
Who is Morpheus? Who's that dude?
The actor?
No, who's not the actor himself.
What's he supposed to be?
Yeah.
Well,
is he from the game?
Yeah, from what I understand, the modal evolves programs.
Okay.
And it evolved him. He evolved out of it.
So he
came directly out of what's his name? Neil Patrick Harris said it that he was a blending of Smith and Morpheus, right? The two things that
I didn't think he was, because Smith was
supposed
there.
to be. That's why he was an agent at the beginning.
Oh.
Right? He's supposed to be a little bit of both.
That was dumb. Okay.
Yeah.
That's way more dumb than I thought
Super
it was. Dumb. Wow. Oof. I loved the bullet time sequence. That was cool.
I loved when the producer guy was like, I got one word, bullet time. Yeah. We got to make the next bullet time.
I did like that.
Like, that kind of stuff was funny. And it's just like...
That got, like, beyond meta to, like...
Yes,
like,
I know.
It
freaked me out a little, actually. I'm like, what the hell is happening?
You could totally see, like, the Wachowskis sitting in some exec room, and some exec is saying that.
Yeah, we need the new bullet time.
I vomited a bit when I heard that whole sequence to me, because it was funny, and then they kept pushing it, and I was like, okay, yeah, funny, and then it kept going. I'm just like, stop. Give it the movie.
So there's one thing. So one thing I kind of like about this movie is that it did take a more comedic overall tone. Like I did
like the tone, yeah.
I like that they decided to do that, but I don't necessarily like the results of it.
Yeah.
And
I agree.
and
That's this whole movie.
Yeah.
Lots of good ideas that didn't work.
yeah, and also the meta thing, like, I don't know, meta stuff gets really boring to me very fast.
Yeah.
Because I don't feel like there's a lot.
It's not pushing anything
Yeah.
forward.
Well, it
Metas-
also didn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it didn't matter.
Right.
being meta doesn't really say very much.
If it became essential to the plot, but ultimately the story that took place could have happened whether Thomas Anderson made a Matrix video game or not.
Right.
Like that whole part could have been omitted.
Yeah.
It didn't
Yeah.
matter.
See, that's where it lost me, was when it started to not matter. When in
Yeah.
fact, when they went through the same sequence of events where he understood he was now in the Matrix, and then he came out again to the real world, which is fucking weird. But as soon as that happened, completely lost interest. I was just like, okay, so that whole thing with the video game and stuff, that just doesn't matter then. That was part of the Matrix. Okay, well, let me forget about that. Okay, let's grow with Neo some more. And
I feel like the meta stuff makes it feel like impossible for the movie to be genuine.
no,
and-
I don't think.
Well,
this movie
not
was trying to be
impossible, but it
genuine.
makes it very difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think the movie doesn't feel genuine to me.
Not at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah. And like, I feel like you can hide behind the idea that it was like made as a comedy.
Yeah.
And it is, but I don't know. It feels like, I don't know. I'd rather see a Matrix movie take itself seriously.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Jeez.
Yeah.
I don't know why that seems like such a brilliant idea.
Because it makes me not care.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, oh, well, I feel, and then it makes me feel like they don't care about the other movies even.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It makes me feel worse about their
It's like
work.
each sequel that came out since the first devalues the whole more and more.
I disagree, but yeah, I understand.
I don't think any of them added value.
They did to me, because I really because the lore that was
It added
built up
value
was-
to you. It didn't add value to the Matrix.
It did to me though, because what the Matrix.
At least the second one.
The first one I loved so much because of the lore, and I think this is going to happen again with Avatar, James Cameron's Avatar. That his other movies I think are going to build on the world and the universe, and I love the world and universe of these places so much that I want to see more of them.
Sure.
So I don't really care about the stories so much as long as I can, get more immersed in the world. But when they start breaking things and they start making things not really make any sense,
Yeah.
then that gets annoying, especially like this one where they not only make fun of the sequels, tongue in cheek and all, but basically just redo the first one with no intent of doing anything new.
But not even, like, they didn't even redo the first one as good as Star Wars did with Force
Episode
Awakens
7 was
is
way
a
better.
far better movie.
Yeah, it's
and
a
it's
better
still
remake.
It's completely a remake.
Yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't want a remake of The Matrix, and this didn't do that. But Jesus, it was. Ugh.
Yeah, and I did enjoy watching it more than the third one. To me, the third one is just bland.
I don't know about that actually, because I know where you're coming from, because shot for shot, the third one was so boring,
Really boring.
really really boring, and not only that, they didn't really have a story. It was just continuing from where the second one left
The
off.
movie went by faster.
It did.
Yeah,
there was a lot more
it
things.
wasn't
that
so
came-
much as a slog.
Like
It was still pretty long.
yeah, you blink and there's a robot bird followed by marbles, followed by holograms, and I'm just like, okay, yeah, there's new stuff. And that was all fun stuff. Even the Merovingian part, which was cringy as hell, was still fun because he was being weird and he looked weird, and I'm just like, he's trying to
Did
speak
look
all
really
philosophically while they're doing fights. And
That was very weird.
very weird.
Yeah.
That whole exile fight.
Yeah.
But getting back to what I was talking about, the episode 3, the third movie felt as if it was still in the world and it was continuing something that I loved. The heart of it was something that I loved, and I feel like this one had no heart.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah,
I could see that.
yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. I would say the third one tells a more complete story.
It probably at least finishes one off,
And
if
it
not
at least
satisfying.
has a arc that's completed.
Right. Yeah. I was wondering, does this one even have an arc? It's not really about Neo.
The closest thing to an arc is very thin, but it's Trinity's.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh no, she does have an arc. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
like the only
Yeah.
arc in the movie.
I mean, it's like ankle deep.
I guess Neo has the same arc as he did in the first one.
It's maybe that's why I didn't see it, is because he already went through it.
Yeah.
And once it's confirmed in the second act, then his arc is erased. We don't need it anymore because he's already been through this.
Yeah, he's like, oh, done.
Right. It's like he's not going to rediscover his power. he already did it.
Let's just take a piece out of context completely and forget that the story was garbage for a moment.
Okay.
What are your thoughts about the big action sequence?
Which one?
That started in the one that started in the coffee shop with all the FBI guards all around, and escalated into the big massive chase.
I like that,
with the bodies being missiles jumping out of windows.
So this is on topic, I promise.
Okay.
Have you guys? I don't remember if all three of us were present during the trailer, but do you remember the Michael Bay movie that's coming out soon?
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't remember what it's called.
Right. I don't either.
But I know
has Jake Gyllenhaal in it.
I remember even being like, that looks kind of good.
Oh wait, is it the ambulance one?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
It's like a heist.
It's called Ambulance.
Yeah.
It's called
Really?
Ambulance.
Yeah, it is.
Ugh.
That's a bad title.
Yeah. Okay, so
It looks kind of good though.
Yeah, so that movie, right?
It's a clever idea.
Yeah.
That's like the most interested I think I'll ever be with a Michael Bay movie, because it's only surface level stuff, and I'm okay with that because it's Michael Bay.
Yeah.
Because I know it's not going to go any deeper. At that kind of interpretation, yes.
Yeah.
This scene in The Matrix 4 was really cool. What it meant below that was really stupid.
Yeah.
I didn't like any of the action in this movie.
Oh, no?
No,
Wow.
I didn't like any of it.
Oof.
Yeah.
I thought the action was better than. I like that there was more sort of like kung fu fighting.
Yeah. I was going to say
this than there was in the other sequels.
Like, I really liked the fighting between the new Morpheus and Neo.
Like there was some more like hand to hand.
Yeah.
That real people were doing.
Yeah.
Which was nice.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
It was just boring to me.
The context, however, was absolute shit.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty like they were trying to pull out all the stops.
Yeah.
And they're like, wouldn't it be crazy if we could turn everyone in the whole Matrix into an agent?
It doesn't make any sense.
And it seriously doesn't. Because I started thinking about this, and I'm like, wait, so all those bodies are now being turned off in the Matrix.
Exactly.
They're like shutting down their
Exactly.
whole...
They're just shutting them down.
Oh my god.
Right.
And then I started thinking, I'm like, wait, so they have absolutely no objective right now other than killing Neo and Trinity, right? That's the one thing they want to do.
Yeah.
And they clearly don't care at all about any of the people.
Right.
Why don't they just drop an atom bomb?
Yeah. Well,
Like, why don't they just nuke it?
it's funny. That's
Like, they have every other weapon imaginable.
yeah.
Why not just blow the place up?
Well, yeah, that was one of the things that
They
I
couldn't run away from.
that I thought about was like, if you're gonna have that much power, there's several things that you could just look into and be like, why didn't they just do this?
Yeah.
Kind of thing. But
Why doesn't a giant just come walk in and step on them?
But what was weird to me was like, what was Neo and Trinity trying to do at that moment? Where were they trying to go?
I don't know. That's what was so weird. Is because they got rid of this idea of needing to pick up a payphone.
Right. Or the key maker or fucking anything.
Yeah. So it's like, because she got out of it by flying up.
Yeah.
She flies up and then they're out.
And then they're
And it's like, well,
But they weren't trying to escape is the thing, right? Because I'm just like, well, if you were trying to escape, you would have done it already.
I think they were trying to escape. That is it. They just didn't.
You're just like, no, action scene.
Keep running.
Keep running. Because at the end, the very end of the movie, the analyst is face to face with Trinity and Neo. Now the creators of the Matrix or the modifiers or whatever, and he's like, they have a conversation with them, and they're like, well, he says, now you guys can do whatever you want, right? As if they won the game. Now remake the Matrix as you see fit, which doesn't. Like, if that was the point, they could have done that from the very beginning. Neo could have done that from the very beginning.
And doesn't Neo and Trinity, they walk off, and do they say that they're gonna rebuild it. They're like, we're going to rebuild it like without you or something.
Yeah.
So why would they want to do that at all? Wouldn't they want to wake everyone up?
That's one of the same things.
The whole point is like to not have a Matrix.
Right.
And they're like, no, we're going to do it right.
I don't know.
But Trinity was like, no, maybe we'll try that rainbow sky thing.
Yeah.
Just
Great.
like, what the fuck?
That was such a stupid line.
That was stupid.
Yes.
They obviously couldn't wake everyone up because the real world in which they live is one of scarce resources.
Right.
Yeah, that's so. Yeah, it would
They
be
could
awful.
just wake up a
just
billion
wouldn't even
people. It'd be a nightmare.
It would be awful.
Yeah. This movie had nothing
So-
about freeing minds, which is.
Wait, so does the Matrix, the overall goal, either way doesn't make sense? Because you can't wake everyone up because it would be an absolute disaster. But
Like, what was wrong with the world
But they
already?
don't want people to be in the Matrix because they don't have their.
Well,
I don't know.
That
I don't know.
comes right back to exactly it. If the robots are not at war with Zion, then what's the problem with the Matrix?
Yeah.
Right.
Like, that was the only reason to free people out of the Matrix.
Was to defend the real world city. Yeah.
It was, find people to help and find the one.
Yeah.
So that they could beat the robots in the real world.
Right.
So they don't really give a fuck that people are in the Matrix.
No, I don't think
So-
they ever really did.
Yeah,
Well, so what was the problem with Neo being a video game designer in the beginning then, and just being in the Matrix? Was it just because he was going crazy and thought he saw something, and now he needs to be woken up because he needs to just realize? Is that all of this was?
I have no idea why they wanted to pull Neo back out again.
Did the movie end in the beginning of the second act?
I don't know. There's no explanation for why they needed Neo. Because they weren't at war.
Because he was a legend. That's why.
Like, why did they need him?
Neology, wasn't that? Someone was into neology.
Neologist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, cringe.
Yeah, I cannot tell you why they needed to find Neo. Other than it was just like, Neo, he's cool. We should find him. He's still alive. That's
Wouldn't
awesome.
it be crazy if we found Neo?
There must have been a reason, right?
God.
There's got to be at least
I kind
a
of wish
line,
we
right?
didn't do this. I felt better about the movie before we started talking about it. To be honest, I was pretty
Talkieitis.
baked when I watched it.
That sounds awesome.
It actually helped. I smoked a bowl and then I watched Matrix and I was like, all
I
right,
did
yeah, this works. This works.
You know, one thing that I did find cool about this was freaking our friend was in it.
Oh yeah, what's his name?
Yeah,
Chris Priest.
Chris Priest.
Yeah.
He was a freaking FBI dude.
I spotted him,
or
too.
SWAT dude.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
You knew he was in there going into it, or did you literally just were you
because
surprised?
I already knew.
Oh, so you saw
I-
the post?
I already
It is
knew.
the
I
post,
knew
yeah.
where to look for him.
Okay.
And yeah, he's on screen for half a second.
Wow.
Almost looks in the camera.
You know what's amazing?
Amazing.
That dude, he found a niche and he started really small and
Just
he
drilling
rode that
into that
niche
niche.
Yeah,
all
dude.
the way to the top.
Yeah,
For
man.
context to our listeners, we cast Chris Priest as a cop in one of our short films.
Yeah.
He's been cast as a cop/security guard in many things because he has that look.
Yeah. He was
but
a security guard in my one of the Magic trailers that I made too.
Yeah. And so it's like, we knew him when he was just willing to do anything he could get.
Yeah.
And now he's in the Matrix.
And I was in a freaking Matrix.
Now he's
yeah.
playing his cop SWAT background role.
Yeah.
Which he did. He was doing those background roles forever, and
That's
now he's
awesome.
doing background roles on a large scale.
Good on you, Chris.
It is
Well,
cool.
and when I started seeing all the stuff that went on in his scene when he was still present,
Yeah.
like, man, that would have been an awesome
yeah, I probably
day.
saw some cool ass shit.
There was all
Yeah.
kinds of physical effects happening
That's awesome.
right there with him
Yeah.
there. That would have been so cool.
That probably would have been awesome.
Yeah. So that's cool about a Matrix Resurrections.
That is really cool.
That's-
That's the coolest thing about Matrix
That probably
Resurrections.
is the
That is the
coolest thing
coolest
about
thing.
it. You're right. Yeah, this movie is just a huge disappointment.
I think this is the worst movie.
Like, period?
Period.
Wow. That's pretty rough.
Let's pizza.
Might as well.
I got a question
Ew.
for you guys.
Okay.
Okay. So if you could picture the Matrix for Resurrections, that's this fourth movie, if it was somehow a pizza, what kind of pizza would it be?
That's some fucked up mind space. I don't know how to even conceptualize that.
Yeah, I know.
You crazy?
I know.
Pizza?
Yeah, I don't know.
Pizza?
Okay, I think I know.
Okay.
This is it's a this is a pizza. Oh, I know exactly what this is. So this is a big old pizza that looks really nice.
All right.
From afar.
Okay. Don't look close.
Yeah. So there's a table full of pizzas, and you got your eye on this one, and you're just like, oh man, that's the one everyone's been talking about. And I'm gonna go over there, and you start walking towards it, and it starts to look just a little weirder as you keep going towards it, and then you get right in front of it, and you're just like, oh, wait a second, this wasn't the pizza that I thought it was. And you take a slice and you go to eat it, and it's the freaking, you know those little gummy hamburgers that you make? Yeah, those little Japanese things.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's that, except in pizza form. And it's a giant one. And so you go to eat it, and it's like gooey, and like, and you're like, you weren't expecting it. It's something different, but yeah, I'm not a fan.
That's funny.
So it's a
good.
perspective shift, like the mirror on the train.
It's exactly that.
If you get closer to it, then it is big enough.
Can I just say, by the way, I liked Morpheus's character. The guy, the character. What? He's not Morpheus.
I just wish he wasn't Morpheus.
He's not Morpheus, but that guy. I thought it was cool that they had him. Whatever it was, he was interesting.
Yeah,
because it was that comedic thing that you were talking about.
Yeah, he could have. We could have had a good movie about him.
That would have been a good movie. Yeah.
There are so many good movies in here.
There's a lot of little good movies.
Yeah. Ew.
Pizza time.
Sure, I'll take it. Classic pepperoni pizza from your favorite pizzeria.
Sounds great.
Like right down in New York. Everything
in New York.
Yeah.
What is going on?
New York pizza. But some trickster had swapped out the sauce with red paint.
Jesus.
That's a very bad experience.
Yeah.
No.
That's actually dangerous.
Yeah, and it's like old paint, so it has lead in it.
It's toxic. Oh,
yeah,
Jesus.
it's very bad.
You might die.
You have to go get your stomach pumped.
Yeah. That's
gotta
it,
go to the
man.
ER, dude. Oh
That
my
is
God.
it.
Jesus.
That is really bad. Jesus. This one is stumping me a little bit.
I love those ones. The ones that stump Taylor are the best.
I don't know. My instinct is to say this is like a cheese pizza with like little pizzas on it as toppings. Whole little pizzas. Whole little pepperoni pizzas on the cheese pizza.
It's a fractal pizza.
Yes.
That sounds great. Actually.
Yeah.
That sounds kind of good, though.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's a bad pizza.
Oh,
like
so
a pizza,
lots
it's like,
of bad
So it's
pizza.
Papa
Yeah.
John's. is
Amplified.
weird.
Yeah, it's like a
bad
Papa
pizza.
John's take and bake, but maybe you didn't bake it that well. Or maybe it's like slightly underdone. Slightly
The
under.
ingredients are like not top quality.
Yeah, not top quality ingredients, but like it's pizza on pizza, and they're like, whoa, meta.
It's a pizza about itself. Oh.
Someone gives it to you, and they're just like, I know the ingredients aren't that good. And they like have that as a point of pride. I referenced it, guys, so it's good.
Wow.
And you like take a bite of it, and the crust is really doughy. So when you take a bite, it like pulls as if it's like mozzarella cheese, but it's the dough. And you're like, whoa, that's kind of fun, but it's not good. I don't really want to eat it, but that's kind of fun that it's happening.
Wouldn't it have been cool if we had a whole movie about just Trinity trying to reconcile her attachments to her kids and husband and whole life there
Yes.
with the temptation of the Matrix?
Okay.
Like, that would have been a cool movie.
List of movies that would be awesome.
Yeah.
There's like
So
the
that's
fifth
one.
idea.
That's one. Neo creating another Matrix within a Matrix, and just about him going insane. That's another one. The
Yeah.
analyst meeting Neo. That's another one.
Damn.
Freaking. Who is it? Even Sati, that girl, and her plan to wake up Trinity. Freaking, that could be a movie just right there. It's
Yeah.
Alien. That's what it is.
Wow. Trinity and Neo coming together.
Yes.
That's its own movie.
Yes.
Yeah, so many,
Smith
like,
shouldn't have been in this
No.
at all.
there was nothing good about Smith.
Nothing.
The whole
Nothing.
idea was just awful.
Absolute garbage.
Yeah.
It didn't make any sense. They didn't even try to explain what was happening there or why.
Yeah.
Like Smith, but why? And Smith, but how?
Evolved.
Neither
Smith.
of those were answered ever. Not even close.
Evolved.
And like later, when Neil Patrick Harris was like, if we go back to your office, what do you think we'd see? And he's like, that there wasn't an attack. I'm like, do that.
Right.
I want that
I thought they were going to.
happen next.
Yeah.
Please. That's great.
Okay, now that we're sick and tired of this movie.
Yeah, I don't
I'm
know if
sick
I
and
have any
tired.
more to say.
I don't have anything more to say
I'm just
about
going
this.
to give up on The Matrix. I'm kind of giving up on the Wachowskis, to be honest.
Yeah, what's the last good movie they did? Cloud Atlas?
Cloud Atlas, and a lot of people, it's not their taste.
Yeah, even
I
then.
really like that one.
Cloud Atlas was
Cloud Atlas is a masterpiece compared to this.
Well, that's for sure.
Cloud Atlas was great because it attempted something that I think
Yeah, it was
It's coherent.
a very
And ambitious.
it was a very
ambitious,
cool
yeah.
ambition.
For how ambitious
they did
they pull
something
it off.
yeah.
that I've still never seen anyone else do.
Matrix 4 is Jupiter Ascending 2.
Jesus.
Yeah, yeah. I guess Jupiter Ascending was the official, I think, fall of the Wachowskis.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
the ultimate.
And they haven't come
They
back.
have not
They haven't.
recovered from that.
That's a shame.
So much so that actually that is the most recent Wachowski's movie with both of them directing is
Yeah.
Cloud Atlas.
Oh,
I'm
is
pretty
it?
sure. Yeah.
What was Jupiter Ascending?
Jupiter Ascending.
Was that before or after Cloud Atlas?
No, Jupiter
That was-
Ascending was after.
Oh, I'm sorry if I misspoke. Jupiter Ascending is the most recent
There you go.
Wachowski's movie.
Okay. Confirmed ass.
Yes.
Yeah. And it was a disaster.
Maybe that's why they don't want to direct
That
them
movie's
together
an
anymore.
utter disaster.
That's the reason.
Yeah. They lost
Okay,
their mojo.
we had Lana's turn. Now it's Lily's turn.
What's her name? The other director? The other Wachowski?
Lana.
Lily.
Oh, Lily.
Lily.
That's right.
Yeah. So it was Lana's turn. Now it's Lily's.
Now it's Lily. What's Lily gonna fuck up?
Let's get Lily to do a live action freaking Hayao Miyazaki film.
What the
Ponyo.
hell? Ponyo?
Holy
What?
shit.
Shot by the Sense8 guy.
I almost like the idea of the Wachowskis doing a Miyazaki.
Yeah.
Almost.
They could do, if they did like Princess Mononoke,
That would
That'd be
probably
pretty
be
dope.
That could be good.
if they did a true adaptation, didn't change the script at all,
Yeah.
then I think it could be pretty good.
Yeah, that could be good. If they announced that, I would be more excited about it if they didn't have their most recent output.
Yeah, things aren't looking so good.
So the next Wachowski's film that comes out, we're just gonna be like, nah.
Yeah.
I probably won't want to
I
see
mean,
it.
I
Yeah,
didn't
I'm
see
not,
Jupiter Ascending.
Ooh, yeah.
I'm not
That was
probably
the
ever
point
gonna.
where I
It's so bad.
yeah, I never like when I found out that Cloud Atlas was Wachowski's, that was afterwards. I was like, oh, awesome, and so that's why I saw Jupiter Ascending, and it was and it was terrible.
Sure is. Well, rip Wachowskis.
And Sense8.
You know, hey, you gave us some good times, but we're
we're moving on.
we're moving on. We're sorry. I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry.
Like at this, I'm more willing to give M. Night Shyamalan a role than I am.
We need to watch Old and talk about that.
We do need to cover
I'm sure
all.
that movie
It's probably bad.
looks really bad.
Yes.
Yes.
Good old Shyamalan bad.
Yeah, give it to me.
Classic awful Shyamalan.
There's something comforting about an awful Shyamalan movie.
Yeah. It just makes you feel right at home.
Yeah.
All is right with the world.
Oh,
Yeah.
we're good. See Wachowski bad? Not so good.
Yeah, that just is bad. Yep. You heard it here first.
You did.
This
was
the first show to review the new Matrix film.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. This was
We really broke some ground.
Breaking new ground.
Yeah. You've been listening to the Talkies. I'm very sorry. And we'll be back with another dismal review, I'm sure, soon.
dismal.
Abysmal.
Abysmal.
Pepto-Bismol.
Yes.
Pept.
Okay, bye.
Pepto.
Bye. Her Majesty's a pretty nice girl. Doesn't have a lot to say, but boom, boom.